Of young people and adults all around the world, people that don't have Bibles. So we get Bibles away in Cuba. We get Bibles away at the border. We get to unaccompanied minors. We get Bibles away in Russia. We're still able to do that. We get Bibles away just all over the world, and we're seeing a tremendous harvest of souls come in as a result of it. 7 million Bibles in 38 years. Bibles for our troops defending America in the war on terror and around the world, in the Middle East even, providing Bibles for our troops, and over 40,000 troops right now in the Middle East that we're providing Bibles for. And you know, I found out there are no atheists in foxholes. And so when they're in harm's way, they are more pliable to the Word of God and to Jesus than they are any other time. But that's what Revival Fires is all about, bringing in a harvest of souls and getting the Word of God into the hands of people that don't have a Bible.
Well, we know that God honors His Word, and thank you for your obedience and availability and your work and dedication to fulfilling this ministry of getting the Word of God out. Tim Todd with Revival Fires International, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Jeff.
Well, baby boomers will remember Bible reading and prayer in schools, but the ACLU and other groups used intimidation to stop that for years. Now there's a growing momentum to incorporate values and morality and even the Bible into public school classrooms. Two individuals who are leading the way are Ryan Walters, the Oklahoma State School Superintendent and head of the Oklahoma State Department of Education, and Julie Pickren of the Texas State Board of Education District 7. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to be here.
Good things going on around the nation. Let's just start with the big picture nationally, the closure of the U.S. Department of Education and the things that might come out of that. Julie, I'll start with you. How do you see that affecting states like Texas?
When you talk about dismantling and shutting down the U.S. Department of Education, it's a very big topic because the U.S. Department of Education is really an administrative and funding department. They do not educate children. They do not provide instructional materials. They do not provide standards. They're just a pass-through agency for what the funds that Congress appropriates to states and local districts. So when it's a big misnomer to think that to call them the U.S. Department of Education, they should be called the U.S. Department of Funding in Education.
Mm-hmm.
So there are federal agencies that do a much better job of what they are appropriated to fund. For example, in feeding poor children, the Department of Agriculture is in a much better position to, empower our local ranchers and farmers to feed our children in our communities and to pass that funding through Department of Agriculture for people with disabilities, children with disabilities, Department of Health and Human Services, which is a $2 trillion annual budget, right? I mean, massive resources, massive amounts of funding. They are much better prepared to address the needs of students with disabilities. So that's just an example. People think, because the U.S. Department of Education is being dismantled, all of that funding is going away. The funding's not going away. The funding is appropriated by Congress. It's just who administers that program, that funding may change.
Okay. Ryan, let's go to the state of Oklahoma. A block grant comes to your state. What can you do with some of that money?
Yeah, I'm telling you, we're so excited about this. And Julie is 100% right there. I think that's such a great response that she gave there about the agency and the bureaucracy there oftentimes stands so much in the way of what states want to do with the dollars that are allocated for education. So one of the things we've already looked at is, hey, we have already requested the largest waiver in the Department of Education's history. We've asked for all of our money in block grants because we said, here's what we would do. Special ed funding, we'd let that money follow the student. We let parents decide, do they want to use it for tutoring services? Do you want to use it for a private school? Kind of what do you want that to do? We also look at some of the other block grants and say, can we use this to do more innovation in education? So could we do this for merit pay? Can we utilize this to get more tutors to help kids that have fallen behind? But such a big part of this is getting rid of that administrative bureaucracy.
Okay.
Because with that, not only, frankly, it's going to save taxpayers a ton of money because you're not paying for all these administrators. Number two, it means more money to go dedicated towards student learning, not towards all these administrators. And as Julie pointed out, we're not just talking about the administration federally. You have to hire all of these administrators locally to help administer so much of what those federal bureaucrats have put on you. This frees up states to make so much better decisions with the money, with the funding. And so again,